Hello guys, welcome. API security testing with Postman. These are the checklist. The first one, authentication and authorization. Second one, broken object level authorization, excessive data exposure, and SQL injection or XSS, and right limiting and brute force, and finally misconfiguration and sensitive headers. The first one, authentication and authorization. In this case, protected endpoints require sometimes requires a valid token, and some cases users cannot access other users' data. And these are comes under authentication and authorization and role-based access control. That means admin endpoints blocked for normal users. And coming to Postman, how to check these things that are we can check the missing token case, invalid token, and expiry token case. Okay, so I will switch to the Postman, and I have taken this API collection. Okay, in that create user API I have taken. Okay, so in that you can see in headers you can see a API key. So this is a authentication or authorization parameter. If you giving a wrong value, okay, then if send this request, we expected a error 403 forbidden. That means invalid or inactive API key. So this is protected using authorization using the API key value. If you giving the correct value API key, then it will return the correct response to not one created. Okay, then if you some cases in authorization tab you can give to pass the bearer token, so you need to enter a valid bearer token. If you giving invalid, then it should return a error message. So that case you can check in aspect of security. Okay, so different authorization mechanisms are there, API key is there, so valid key we can check. These types of testing you need to perform under the security accept of API. So the response will get only valid authorization or headers value. Okay, so in this API this is a not authorization required, only headers with the API key is required. Okay, and so missing token you can check without giving any token value, run check the response is getting 401 or 403, and invalid token by giving invalid bearer token value or something like that, you should get 401. If you're not getting this, you can report that. And expiry token, some cases the expiry of token is there. Okay, so that case you need to check that case also. If some cases it may be 5 minutes 10 minutes. Okay, so after that if you use the same token getting the response, then it is vulnerable. So expiry should be need to check under the security aspect. Okay, then next is broken object level authorization. This is main trying accessing other user resources by changing path ID or query parameters. Okay, use a normal user's token to code admin only resource IDs. So these are broken object level authorization. Okay, the admin access only resource cannot be accessed by the normal user. So you can check these cases. So if it is working not properly, then you can report that one. Use normal, the example I have written is use normal user token to call get. So here we expect 403 or empty result. If you're getting the response, then it is a vulnerable case. So you can check the different roles in API as well. Okay, then next is excessive data exposure. That means ensure the response do not include sensitive fields like password, SSN, token, etc. So assert the response body does not contain the keywords. You can perform the assertion and validate if it is not there any sensitive data. So here I demonstrated left side. You can see the password, SSN, token. So in response it contains an email also. So it is vulnerable chances there. So you need to remove that field in response. So then it is fine. So in right side you can see the email, password, SSN token, etc. that fields are hidden. So in response, it only the exposure of sensitive data is prevented. Okay. Then next is injection. So we know the SQL injection, cross-site scripting. So the input field we are applying with the payloads that are not a normal one. This is something like SQL injection payloads. We get it from Google. You can Google it and you can get the different payloads. Here are some payloads I have written in the presentation. So you can check on Postman by copying one value. I will demonstrate how to do that. So go to the your request and copy your string value. You can paste the SQL injection payload value. Okay, then you can run whether it is getting the success response. Here it is getting the correct response. You are giving it that string value, so it returns a value, so getting the response. Okay, so here in the API there is no issue. Some cases the response may be 500, that is server side error. So you can validate in your case different cases of payloads and check whether it is giving the response. So I will run one more query and paste it over here. Okay, and run. So here you can see 403. So this is a client side error, so it is prohibiting our attempting to the SQL. So this is a good sign, because if we getting 500, that means the response is getting from the server. So this is blocked from the client side level itself. That's why 403. So this is not vulnerable. So in your case, you can check these types of payloads. You can check it in Google, the different types of payloads for the SQL injection XSS. Okay, and next is rate limit and brute force. That means repeatedly called login endpoints or excessive expensive endpoints to see if the rate limiting kicks in. Okay, so means how to you can run this in using Postman. Run that in collection runner and give an iteration value. If you getting 4 to 9 response code temporary block, then it will be fine. So you can check whether your API it is implemented or not. So here I take one example. Okay, just giving one value and save and go to the collection, and I'm taking the runner. So here we can perform the iteration. So I giving 100 iteration, okay, repeatedly, and selecting the create user API only. Okay, and picking other API. Okay, so create user 100 iteration. So run the collection. So I expecting some point of view run, it will throwing error 4 to 9. Okay, so we can check that one. It is running. So here you can see on some case I'm stopping this request. So you can see the response from the client side. It's too many requests, so it's blocking. So this in this API it is implemented currently on repeated action, it is blocking. Okay, so this is implemented here. It is passed. This case is passed in here. Okay, so in your case you can check this using collection runner. Okay, and next is logging and monitoring. That means ensuring the endpoint return appropriate error message. That means you need to validate your response in negative cases. The response is correctly getting the error message and the response code. We cannot expecting the 500, that is server side error. We need to check. We need to thoroughly check there is no server side error by running the API. So you need to check these cases. Okay, you can see here, you can see the 500 is not getting, this is client side error, and 201 is the success response. That means okay, so if we getting 500, it means this is a server side error. Okay, So that means it is vulnerable in API. Okay, then you can the final one, collection runner and fuzzing, means you can use the CSV file by giving the payload value, and you can run this collection runner and upload that excel CSV file and run, and be evaluating any response with the 5. That start with 5 means server side error. Okay, so the just give idea, the 1 axis means information response code, and 2x means access, 3x redirection, and 4x means the client side error, and 5x means server side error. Okay, and I will run this case. So I am again new run, collection run, I taking a new run, and I have already prepared a CSV file. Okay, so here you can see the CSV file I just opened. So you can see the name is the value I have going to parameterized. Okay, and you need to save this in CSV format. Okay, so in downloads I have saved this as in CSV format. Okay, so you need to save this file in CSV format. I already saved, that's why I'm taking back, and give the variable name as name in header, and the values you can give it. Okay, so this is the variable name. So I go into the Postman, and I go to the our API and giving the variable name as name. Okay, so and save. So it's saved, and you can go to the runner window and choose the CSV file from this computer and choose the CSV file. So you can see this is, you can see the name and values, and use locally and run this test. So you can see the responses. This is the request we have passed from the CSV. So we can run it from CSV. You can try the brute force, or from CSV you can check the values. Okay, so collection runner and fuzzing you can run. So you can give the Excel file different values, payloads you can see given, so it will run, and fuzzing you can run using this CSV. Okay, so these are our security testing using Postman. So hope you enjoyed this section. Thank you for watching, and bye.